Welcome back, and it's time to discuss the second topic of today, which is the intellectual rights of archaeological sites. Actually, this is an important topic which was launched in 2014 by Professor Ahmed Rashed Head of the Center of Sustainability and Future Studies, and it's mainly dedicated to Luxor's cultural heritage and the preservation of its intellectual rights. And now it's time to learn more about it from the professor. Welcome with us.
Welcome.
Good morning, Dr. Rashed. Can you tell us more about what is the law of protecting the intellectual property rights, and what raised this issue in this timing in particular?
Okay, I need to return a little bit
Please do.
To the issue. I already graduated from architecture,
yes.
And I got my PhD about Luxor. It was about public participation in the conservation of historical environments. Case study was Luxor City, and we did a lot about Luxor, and especially the comprehensive development project. And within the issues of the comprehensive development of Luxor, it raised once in our discussion about what about Luxor Las Vegas at that time. And when I visited, first time I visited Luxor Las Vegas, that was in 1999. Then I was astonished that to what extent they have this kind of replication to our heritage in a very professional way. So it raises who gave the right to have this kind of project with the name. I tried at that time to be in contact with the manager of this hotel, and they said that you need to have a kind of an appointment, and it would take more time. So it was in my mind. Then in 2004, I decided to have this kind of a paper within one of the international conference. It was in Cordoba, Argentina. And I have this kind of comparison between the replica, Luxor Egypt versus Luxor Las Vegas. And this was the first time to say that why we are not should have this of our copyright from all those who already commercial benefit from our heritage. It was a debatable issue till now. I went through many stages and conferences and debates, and even especially the law itself in Egypt. When I returned back to Egypt, I started by 2004, 2005 to start struggling with there is no law said that we have a right. But again, the issue was raised, and it at that time had been backed by many of supporters. But we said in Egypt that we are going to have a law to say that we are going to the heritage law, that we are going to have a copyright. Unfortunately, the copyright law, which was in 2010, said that it should the same material, the same size, even the same of everything. So if I were going to have a pyramid, it should be a similar pyramid for us to get this kind of property right. So that was something. Then the revolution happened, so there is no that time for us to raise some issues. Even we raised it when Luxor there is no tourism. And at that time, with the governor of Luxor, we have this kind of discussion. Why we're not going to have this kind of scientific research tourism?
Actually, you started that program in 2013 in cooperation with the Luxor Governorate, and then in 2014 you launched 3 competitions.
3 competitions.
Yes, the first of which is the one that you're talking about, which is Luxor Civilization from Womb of Civilization. What's the difference between the 3 competitions?
Okay, the first one for Luxor, we would like to have this kind of the quality of life for Luxor. Especially when I'm going to say that Luxor is the microcosm of Egypt as a country. Very wealthy in heritage, resources, but it's very poor for the community of Luxor and the shape of Luxor. So this is similar to Egypt. So I said that if it's Luxor, we consider it Luxor Lab. If we started with Luxor, and Luxor internationally well known, we could ask the international and the Luxor people and the people from Egypt to share together to collect data and starting to have this kind of quality of life projects in different ways. So it could be tourism, it could be infrastructure, it could be education, it could be health. So that was the first one which related to Luxor civilization. The second one, I think, is the more what we'd like to discuss now. Because we could have a one day to talk about the different issues related to Luxor.
A global marketing sign and intellectual property right, that's the one?
Yeah, that is the one. Because we used to say that there is no branding for Luxor. We used to say that Egypt already got 2/3 of the heritage of the world and 1/3 the Luxor. And when I was doing my PhD, I said the same statement, and everybody stopped me and said, how come? I have colleagues from Italy, from China, from India, and they said, so it is not quantitative, it's qualitative. We could say that we have one of the greatest civilization in the world. But till now, we used to say that when we said what is our reference, we said it's our educational books, or everybody is known that. Now it's not known by everyone. So till now, there is no branding for Luxor as a Luxor in an appropriate way all over the world. Not only that, if we are looking for Luxor, it's a layer of civilizations and layer of sites which each of them could be branded. So we could say that Luxor temple could be branded different than Karnak, then Habu, then Hatshepsut, then Hassan Fathi, then Tutankhamun. And each community could already be branded into one of the crafts, especially being, from the community. So rather than have those from China, you could have those which came from the people to the people. It's culture interact. So that was the first idea. But we could say that this is a proposal, and we could work on it. But we said that it could be a competition to have different scenarios from the international community. So at that time, we came the issue of the copyright, which I would like to say that it is not only for Luxor, but it's for all our heritage, especially the pharaonic heritage. We have to look after our copyright for those who already commercially benefit all over the world. So the example of Luxor Las Vegas is one, but we have all over the world, in Japan, in India, in China, and this we have within these days when they said that the Sphinx already have been constructed, and now this have been for the pressure of the Egyptian community, and the UNESCO asks China to so this is again one of the issues where especially nowadays, when we are looking for a revenue, there is no tourism, by all means.
Yes.
And the dollar is now 10 Egyptian pounds. We have many, challenges.
Yes, indeed.
And if we have any option to get
implement
kind
this law
of revenue, we are not asking.
Do you believe that we could really help to protect our heritage by implementing this law, Dr. Rashed?
Again, it is now not a law. Okay.
Yes, I believe
because
if this law, if this idea is implemented as a law.
One of the things that we have to be assured that the law is something very important.
Indeed.
Okay, but it's not only the law, because if we would like the reality, the law of Nevada is not going to be implemented in California. And we have our heritage all over the world. We have the replica one, and we have the original.
So you need international cooperation?
We need international awareness about our issue, with the belief that we have a right.
How
so
can we
if
do
we are
that?
not going to believe that we have a right, we have to stop. Okay?
But how can we do that, Dr. Rashed?
Okay, the one which I'm used now is this kind of international conferences, international debates. So I'm just returned from China. I was in the National Gallery of China. I raised the issue there. I was in Italy. I was in Metropolitan Museum. So I have many of the conferences and have the debate. And usually it is in the first, when we say the issue, everybody say, though, how come it is not something? It's something. Who's the original? Why you asking for that? Okay, even when you mention, you say that it is from the archaeological point of view. But I used to say that, okay, it is different point of views. It's not only archaeology, because I am architect, and it is originally architecture and urbanization, but through the years it really has been transferred to be archaeology. So I have the right to ask. But my point of view in such case, that who's the one who's going to buy the ticket in the end? It's the man, okay, and the touristic, or the so. If you would like to know the reality, we need to be aware that we have a right from the point that if you are going to buy any of the trademarks here, you have to pay a percentage to the company. It is similar as we already got this kind of for Nefertiti in Berlin. The ticket for it is for 20 euros or more. So the 20 euros, this is a touristic attraction, one of the main touristic attractions within the visiting of Berlin. So we as Egypt, we should have this kind of 20%, whatever. Why? We need to excavate, to restore, to save the heritage in Egypt. So we said that as they already going to benefit, we are going to benefit. This is for the original.
Yes.
We say that it could be accepted or could be rejected. If it's going to be accepted, that means we have a right. We could go within many channels. But how we could do that? The law in Germany is going to be different than the law in Japan, in France. Indeed. So we could make it as a competition.
Actually, this is quite challenging, because actually I don't think that any of the countries would accept for a particular reason. You have ancient Egyptian artifacts all over the world. Okay. Then that won't only open the door for Egypt, it will open the door for all the rest of the countries. Okay. Like the Louvre is filled with artifacts from the various countries, and till now we have a dispute over the head of Nefertiti, and actually, although we have laws to protect our monuments, but there is a dispute about the legitimacy of how it went out of the country in the first place. Until now, we're still arbitrating on that head. So actually, a lot of countries won't accept that, because they'll be in a dilemma. What will happen? They'll end up paying so many countries for the rights of their artifacts.
Actually, this is the issue. Okay, if the law is going to provide us a solution, there is no issue. And I'm happy that you mentioned Louvre, because this is this is the one which I already based the issue of Louvre. Two things. We are the only country in the world which there is kind of science called Egyptology. There is no Italiology, there is no Greekology, there is no USology. Okay? So all over the world we have this kind of issue. Who discovered the Egyptology? It is Champollion. Okay? And Champollion was the head of Louvre department for Egyptology. And he is the one who discovered with Rizzolini, an Italian, both together, and they came and visited Egypt at 1826-27. And then they have this kind of Rosetta Stone, and they decided that this is the way to solve it. And even after he died, okay, Rizzolini complete the book and published, and then they started to have this kind of. So we should be the first country to ask for the copyright, as we are the only country which have the right to say that we are Egyptologists. We are Egyptology, we have a science related to us. But I am not sure if everyone knew that already. There is Louvre, another Louvre being constructed or under construction, and is going to be opened. It should be opened 2012, but it's going to be opened 2016 or 17, named Louvre Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
And the name Louvre, they paid 500 million euros for only the name.
As a trademark.
As a trademark. And the other thing, that they are going to rent the replica of Louvre to be rented to Louvre Abu Dhabi, and they are going to pay 150 million euros per year for 10 years. 40% of those replica are Egyptian replica. So that means within the market, within the debate, it costs something, and we have to. In the other side, we used to say that it is kind of promoting our heritage, and that means our Egyptian heritage. Everybody will know, and that was going to bring for us a tourism. If we are going to state that whatever project like this replication, which they commercially benefit from us, are making for us this kind of promotion, we should pay for them. Nothing free in our life.
Yes.
So either or, for us to pay, or for them, if they are commercial benefit, for them to pay us.
But unfortunately, they are benefiting from our heritage, and yet they don't pay us.
Yes, that is the issue. I'm not talking only on that.
Yes.
You know, this is one of the level.
Indeed.
When we have, if we would like to mention this as an issue, it could be long-term issue.
Yes.
The issue also is that all these artifacts were taken out when we were under occupation, so it was not even with our own consent, and that's another issue.
Why we are used to blame our parents, father, whatever, that at that time, 300 years ago, when we have all this huge of, it is the same what we are now.
We're doing the same.
We are doing the same, because whatever, if anyone coming to Egypt and is going to have a piece of stone, okay, we will consider it as a thief.
Yes, of course.
It is similar. It is now for the intellectual property. If they have the idea and use it commercially, and this is the only thing we have to use the word commercially. Within Luxor Las Vegas, they used to have, in the beginning when I raised the issue, they have this kind of copyright statement. So within the copyright statement, they said that you could use whatever material not for commercial benefit. And if I would like to raise the issue in a paper, I should put the statement of the copyright. And they used to say that, why you are going to visit Egypt when you will find everything in Luxor, Las Vegas? You are going to find the tomb of Tutankhamun as Howard Carter discovered. You know, this is we used to say that they are making for us this kind of promoting our heritage. But on the other side, they said, why are you going to bother yourself to go when you're going to find everything on the other side? We prepare everything. And why we have this. You remember in 2014 when we have this kind of replica of Tutankhamun with the Luxor, and this is a debatable issue. We have the original, and we are going to have the replica. And when we accepted this replica from the company, which was, they already have many other different, tombs, and they are around the world. They are the company was already. So when we accept something, we give the reason behind that it could be in other places implemented in the same way. So we have to be aware that it is not only that. Nowadays we have this kind of debate about these two islands. And on the other side, we used to have those who already say that we are our grandfathers built the pyramid. And we are those who are living in this time.
Yes.
We are not the builders.
Indeed.
Yeah, indeed, but that's the big issue that needs a new episode and another segment of the program. So actually, wish you all the best of luck in your new initiative, and we will be following up with you as well in Breakfast Show with that.
We started the petition and the campaign, and we are going to have international conference next November. And it's not only going to talk about the copyright of our heritage, but we are going to include all the Arab heritage. Yes. So Iraqi, Syrian, with the Egyptian, to make it as something to be, in front of the UNESCO and whatever, to talk about.
Hopefully, best of luck, Dr. Ahmed Rashed, Director of the Center of Sustainability and Future Studies.
Thank you very much for your support.
Well, and that wraps up our episode of Breakfast Show. But before we end today's episode, I'd like to thank Mahesti.
Thank you very much, Rasha. And with that, our dear viewers, we come to the end of our episode for today. And tomorrow, it's a new episode with a new crew of the Breakfast Show. So it's goodbye.